All right, guys, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Going to be getting into the Week 16 cash plays and the cash process here, showing you guys the build for Week 16. If you guys enjoy this coverage, make sure to give a like and subscribe. All right, let's get into it. So getting into the positional breakdown of this video, I'm still perfectly fine with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. What I've been ending up on is just going with Geno Smith. It just makes a ton of sense in cash. Not only does he get a great matchup going against the Kansas City Chiefs, a team or a matchup in which could be a higher scoring matchup. We look at what Geno Smith has been able to do recently as well. That's what's going to be appealing. I mean, a bunch of games in a row over 15 DK points. I mean, really, he's had, two bad starts on the season in terms of cash reliability. So we're getting a guy that also has been throwing the ball a ton as well. Over 35 passing attempts in his last 4 games. That's going to be highly appealing as well. Given the matchup with KC, I do expect him to be able to have to throw the ball more, and I do expect him to get to 20 DK points. He is at a very cheap price point as well. That opens up a lot build-wise, especially on a slate in which we are trying to pay up for the stud running backs. And who are the stud running backs? Well, it's pretty easy. CMC and Derrick Henry are both going to be kind of standout plays. CMC going to be very difficult not to play. We look at what he did without Deebo Samuel last week. 8 targets, was able to secure 6 of those for 9 points in the passing game. If we can get a big floor like that, let's say 6 or so points in the passing game, that's going to be huge. He has really just been a stud since he has joined the Niners. Even in tougher matchups, he's been able to go off, like Tampa Bay was able to go for 30 DK points. Very difficult not to love CMC on the slate, but at the same time, very difficult not to love Derrick Henry going against Houston. Houston has been a team that we've been targeting this whole season via the running game. It's just kind of something that you need to do, especially when we get Derrick Henry. The only way Derrick Henry doesn't hit value is if, well, I guess he doesn't score a touchdown, maybe gets banged up, or somehow the Texans get up to an early lead. Other than that, Derrick Henry should be force-fed the ball. He should get 3 or so targets in the passing game, should get 20 or so rushing attempts, should get 25 or so total opportunities. The production should be there. We should be getting 20 DK points or so. So that is the starting point at the running back position. Then from there, it does get a little bit cloudy. Like, I do love Saquon Barkley. He looked really good last week, was on the field a ton. At the same time, someone like Jerick McKinnon in that matchup with Seattle, another matchup that you want to attack via the rushing game, that's intriguing as well. 2 weeks ago, saw 57% of the snaps. Last week, 62% of the snaps. And the thing that I really like is they are finding ways to get him the ball in the passing game. Okay, 9 targets 2 weeks ago, 8 targets last week. When we start to see trends like that, it's not too fluky. And then given the fact that Houston, kind of the same matchup in terms of like rushing, in terms of running back points, I could see him being used kind of the same way. So I'm deciding between Jerick McKinnon, Rhamondre Stevenson, and maybe Saquon Barkley. That's who I'm really kind of dialed in on. Stevenson obviously was just a stud. Played in 66% of the snaps last week. And if he is healthy, like obviously he should be, one more week healthy, he is going to be someone that is going to be super tough not to play as well. At 7.1, we know he's going to get work in the passing game. And he looked really good against the Raiders, who the Raiders had been a good rush defense as well. So I'm stuck between, obviously CMC, Derrick Henry, love that. Barkley, Stevenson, or possibly McKinnon. I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Who are you guys ending up on to close out the running back position there? For now, I'm just going to go with the cheapest, McKinnon. And so if we are paying up at the running back position, it's going to be very tough to fit any of the stud receivers in there. Now, I feel fine with all of them. They're all going to be quality plays. I would love to be able to fit DK Metcalf in there with Tyler Lockett ruled out, but if we can't fit DK Metcalf in there, who can we go ahead and play instead? Well, Marquise Goodwin. Marquise Goodwin's going to play at least 75% of the snaps, should be in for more than 5 targets. Okay, currently questionable, and we do have to wait to see on his injury status. If he's injured, then we just have to try to find a way to fit DK Metcalf into our builds. But for now, I'm going to assume that Marquise Goodwin's going to be active, and thus he's going to be a very cheap stellar play. Then from there, I do really like the idea of going with DJ Moore. DJ Moore gets a great matchup against Detroit. I think you could do a sneaky stack there in that Detroit game with Carolina. But DJ Moore with Sam Darnold at quarterback, we've seen him get 6 targets twice, and we've seen him go for 15 plus DK points twice. Okay, and that's what we're looking for. So 2 out of 3 times with Sam Darnold, he's been really spectacular. The only time he wasn't was against Seattle. Kind of weird. Okay, I think we are going to see more consistency out of DJ Moore, especially given the matchup. He should be force-fed the ball. I really like DJ Moore this week at 5.5. And then from there, we have some decent plays. Like you could go DPJ, you could go Juju. Juju's, gotta love Juju. 10 targets the last 2 weeks. He's going to be a good play. Slayton, DPJ. But at the same time, I do really like Jahan Dotson as price point. It's tough not to love him at that price point. Okay, 79% of the snaps the last 2 weeks, 6 and 9 targets the last 2 weeks. We saw that talent was there. Okay, especially if we're playing CMC, there's a little bit of correlation there that says, all right, if CMC is going off, that means that the Washington Commanders are going to have to throw the football a little bit more, which would mean that Jahan Dotson is a good play. So at 3.9, it is just difficult not to play him. And then at the tight end position, okay, we might be forced into a play. Noah Fant is currently questionable, did not practice Wednesday, and I didn't see a report on Thursday just yet. And it does look like Hayden Hurst might be active. So earlier on in the week, I thought it might be Mitchell Wilcox as our go-to value play at tight end. We might have to switch that and get into Will Dissly, okay? And Will Dissly would probably see, let's just say, about 80% of the snaps if Noah Fant were to sit. So for now, I'm going to go with Will Dissly. I think he'll have a floor about 4 DK points, maybe gets a touchdown, and that could really help. But I love the price point of him. And then defensively, like, we have a lot of salary left over, and that's the biggest issue I've been having. And obviously, I always try to pay down at defense. So, the Chicago Bears, obviously the defense has been poor, but the weather is going to be pretty cold, going to be bad, most likely. Okay, Josh Allen has been prone to some turnovers and whatnot. It wouldn't be shocking to see the Chicago Bears go positive. They've only went negative twice as well. Now, sure, could you afford to pay up for a different defense? You can. All right, so let's get into kind of what my final build then would look like. Where are we trying to make some upgrades? Because we have a lot of salary left over. Maybe you could go up from Marquise Goodwin. I don't think we should do that. Okay, I think we should try to find a way to fit him into our builds, but you could possibly do that. You could go up from Jahan Dotson as well. Maybe you go up from DJ Moore to fit DK Metcalf in there, and then you could also go up from Jahan Dotson if you don't like him as a play. You could go with Chris Moore, 9 targets last week. That'd be fine as well. There's different routes as to which you can pay up. So obviously, instead of McKinnon, we could go Saquon Barkley. I would think if I'm playing Saquon Barkley, though, I'd just rather go Stevenson, kind of for the same reasons. And then the biggest problem is, this is supposed to be Dissly. The biggest problem is we still have too much salary left over. So that is going to be the process come Sunday, is trying to figure out where to make the slight upgrade, because it's not going to be huge, but the upgrade could be obviously a big deciding factor. If I could fit, let's say, Travis Kelce into this build, I would love it. But that's going to be difficult to do. We'd probably be going down from maybe Derrick Henry and Stevenson. So it'd be like McKinnon at the running back, which I don't love. Then we have 5.8 left over. And maybe Juju then. I don't love that. But that would be a route as to which you could do that. Obviously, if we're doing this, we'd much rather be able to afford to fit Patrick Mahomes into a build. Okay, so that's the tough part. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give a like and subscribe. Let's have another good week. Guys, it's been a fun season thus far. The regular season's almost done. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it thus far. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. Let's have a good weekend as always. Let's keep cashing.